Team building continues here for 2013-14. The Stockton Thunder getting one more player into the mix. That's Ryan Hayes, who signed his contract earlier today as the announcement was put out. The guy who got the deal done joins us now, and new Thunder head coach Rich Kromm now finally getting settled into his offices here. And Rich, first off, welcome. But a guy in Ryan Hayes, you saw him as well last season in Evansville. What does this transaction mean to you?
Well, I think for Ryan, we're looking at him to come in here and duplicate what he did in the playoffs last year. He had a great run in the playoffs, put up a lot of numbers, and everything that I know of him is that he's a guy that's always going to be able to produce for us offensively. And we look at our lineup, we're going to be very competitive and a very gritty team. Scoring is going to be one area where we're going to be really relying on guys like Ryan Hayes.
It's often known that coaches have different philosophies where players fit in, what their role is, their expectations. For a guy like Ryan Hayes, do you look for more from him or more of the same?
Well, we want him to be who he is as a player, and if his forte is going to be the offensive side of the game, then that's what we're going to look for him to produce for us. So, I mean, you have to put all the pieces together, and you need all types to make a team successful, and he's a guy that I think we're going to really rely on for offense.
For a player who can produce, certainly there might be a dividing line as far as production in the regular season and also in the postseason. We talk about a guy like a playoff player, a guy who usually is a mucker or a grinder. We say that he's like a playoff player, but there are certain players who can fit that bill, who can put the puck into the back of the net as well and can also score. Underneath it all, how do players like that perform when you need to call them to have their game raised up a notch?
Well, I think it's you need those guys to raise their level at playoff time. It's crunch time. It's when you want them to be at their best. And I think Ryan proved that he can be that player for us last year in the playoffs. And we want him to see him to be able to continue in that vein during the regular season. But also you want to make sure that guys are money players, that when the chips are on the line, they're there and they're going to compete hard for you.
Well, you certainly know that with this change in the offseason comes a change a little bit in the team, but for you also a change in lifestyle and trying to get moved about halfway across the country as well. So as far as the team building process, how close are you to where you want to see this team for this next season?
Well, I think we're getting close. I think with the Islander affiliation sealed up now, we get an idea of what type of players we're going to be getting from them, and that fills in the roster a little bit, and we can plan around what other signings we may need to do here moving forward.
Rich, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Head coach Rich Kromm joining us. The Thunder again, signing Ryan Hayes earlier today. He's back for 2013-14. I'm Mike Benton for ThunderVision.